imagine that this young person is someone that you're working with. She is someone maybe in a school that you work with, in a community program or however, and her identities are all intersecting. So she is facing things because she identifies as Black, she identifies as young, she identifies as female, and let's say she also identifies as low income, which isn't a reality for all young Black people, but let's say for her, this is her reality. For most places, they're only able to support and serve what issues fit on each lane. So some places are only able to support and serve the fact that she's Black. Some places are only able to support and serve the fact that she identifies as female. Some people only serve young people, and some people only serve folks with lower income. But when you intersect all these things together, that really needs to be where the support is. When you're giving support services for domestic abuse and sexual violence, you have to also consider how that person's age, their gender, and their race intersect, and how that affects risk for sexual violence, but also their ability to get support afterwards. But when we're talking about prevention, we have to think about what those things look like in the world and realm of a young person. So a lot of times with prevention programming, we'll use things like gender stereotypes to talk about power and control, and how women and girls are taught to be quiet and to be nice and soft and sweet, and boys and men are taught to be tough, not to cry, to be into sports, and be overly aggressive. And we talk about how those gender stereotypes affect the way that people see themselves and others. But what we miss is that based on a person's racial identity, they get different stereotypes. So on top of being expected to be nice and sweet and kind and soft and passive, Black girls and women are also expected to be strong and sassy and loud and aggressive. That even comes out as a harmful name. So Black girls and women are again taught to are seen or stereotyped as being loud, angry. People can use names like hood rat, which is a very racialized name that someone can be called. Oreo. So if someone is Black, but people don't think that they act Black on the outside, being overly sexual, ghetto, nappy headed, strong, sassy, and more adult. So there's this stereotype on Black girls too of adultification, where people assume that Black girls know more, do more, are more aggressive, and as a result are punished harshly. There's a study by Georgetown Law that talks about how Black girls are pushed out of schools, are punished more harshly in schools. And if we think about it, where do most of our prevention programs happen? Pre-pandemic, we were a lot of times in schools. I know that's where I got my start, is going into schools and doing educational programming in schools. But what I started to learn when talking about gender stereotypes is it's not all, what we were talking about wasn't always relatable. And a lot of those stereotypes that Black girls were getting were harmful. It was a lot of these. So imagine being a young Black girl who's in school, and you're in school, and the people who are around you, the adults that are supposed to be there to protect and support you, have these stereotypes about you, or have these feelings that you should act this way or be this way just because of your racial identity. So they expect you to be more aggressive. And as a result, Black girls are punished harsher, and school starts to feel unsafe, and then they're pushed out of schools. And that's when generations of low income start to happen more. That's when people get pushed into sex work and trafficking and police and being over police in their communities. So really, all of this is rooted in how we view people and how we view people based off of identities. We all hold some type of racial bias, and sometimes those racial biases can come through how we do our work. And it starts with those stereotypes. So we can't really make a big change unless we're addressing those stereotypes that we hold and have, and confronting them and making them plain and real.